Mic on. Mic off. Mic on.
What's going on? What's going on? Good afternoon. Let me fix this. A little too low. Not off. I think it's good. Am I already recording? Yes, I am. Sweet. That's too loud. Fuck. Ah. I think it's fine. Whatever. Leave it there. A sip of coffee. Ah, fuck, that's hot. Whew. Shit. Alrighty. Let's get started. Well, I guess I'm recording, so I should probably do my intro. What's going on, guys? Geo here with Level Up Design. Gonna basically be piggybacking off of what we did or started yesterday. Actually, first off, this music is a little too peaceful. I think it's a little better. A little more upbeat. Alright, so let's pull this up. Everything's good on my screen. Yeah, cool. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Hope everything's going well for you today, man. Alright. Excuse me. So basically where we left off yesterday, pretty much had like the full somewhat foundation for the game. So I actually spent a little bit yesterday. If I could pull up, where are you? There we go. All right. So I basically did yesterday. Yo, what's up, Mitch? Hope everything's going well, buddy. Are you feeling any better? Or you're feeling kind of shitty yesterday? All right. So we left off. We got basically like I was saying, like the foundation, right? You know, we have the genre, the setting, perspectives. We kind of have like a mock-up pitch in a sense. We got a setting set up. We got some references, and we got some base mechanics down. Hey, what's up, Brian? All right. 10K light? Nah, it's too early for 10K right now. 10K soon though. I'll see you. So left off here. I spent yesterday night basically just kind of making up a mock GDD. Very like basic stuff, because this isn't gonna be like a fully fleshed out multi-map, like tiered a game in a sense. It's really just gonna be a pretty like probably like 2-3 levels or so, but roughly around there. So let's just pull up some stuff I did yesterday. Nothing crazy really, just more details in a sense. So just figured Forgotten Funk be kind of our placeholder name for now. Funk, Cyberpunk, Funk, because it's kind of just like, in a way, this game is going to be more like satirical in a sense. And then Forgotten because of the memory loss. That's kind of just where I ended up at. So now we well, what I was able to do is basically get set up a concept, right? So like more of a, like, you know, obviously when you're reading like the description of any game that you play, you basically see like, oh, blank and blank is a 2D platformer game out of Unreal or something like that, right? Hey, what's up? What's up, Pedro? Hopefully the stream is a little better today, because I know yesterday some people were having issues, but just let me know if anything. So basically, our concept now that we have, there we go, is Forgotten Funk is a semi-open world third-person RPG based in a cyberpunk dystopia. So player wakes up in a penthouse after party with no recollection of how they got there, but shortly realizes they were up to no good. Largest military corporation, crap, so silly, committed revolutionary armed police, comes after the player to try and take them in. With the player's witty banter and newfound power, they use stealth and speaketh, which is going to be basically like the title of our our ability in a sense. Don't know why I came up with that. Just sounded stupid to me, and I figured it's kind of a stupid game, so we're going to do that. So they use stealth and speaketh to incapacitate their enemies so they can avoid being captured, studied, killed, whatever's worse. So baseline, right, of kind of what we painting a little bit more of a picture, because a big part of being a level designer too is getting a little bit of a story or like context, right? You don't usually see like just going from in any game from one sequence or one combat to another without some sort of context in between, whether that's dialogue between enemies like they do like in Batman Arkham City, like how they do in like Last of Us is a good one, where like you're just walking out of nowhere, truck slams into you, it's a whole little fighting like cutscene, cool and stuff, but there's context there. So usually that starts with something like this, right? Just kind of a baseline, and then you build it up as is. Nothing changed here. Same setting notes, same references. Mechanics, I just basically added stealth detection because that kind of goes into, oh, actually, that reminded me, AI as well, since we're going to have to work on. Hey, Eric. What's up, man? Hope we're doing well. So we got AI, and then abilities with cooldowns. I don't really know exactly how the cooldowns were going to work. That's going to be a little bit like playtesting, basically. But kind of like the gist of it is I would want them to have probably 2 to 3 abilities. Each one, like, same thing. It's varying cooldown based off its either complexity or its like usage. Like, you know, if it's gonna save your life basically and you don't get caught, then that's probably gonna be a higher cooldown and puts a little more like of a restriction on them using it so much. Excuse me. All right. So, and we'll go down that when the time comes for it. That's going to be a little bit still, but we'll definitely be talking about that throughout this. I got to put on my fucking glasses because I can't get a headache easily with this thing. So, design pillars, again, same thing. We haven't really changed that. Design pillars are the same. And again, just to emphasize, design pillars are your main, think about it as a building, right? A building has main supporting columns that are like the foundation of everything that gets stacked on top of it. So if those columns is weak or doesn't get supported enough, building crashes and basically it's ruined, it's destroyed. So you want to make sure that everything that gets created or linked into the game is at least designed or links to most of your design pillars. It doesn't have to be all of them. Ideally, that'd be great, because then that means if it links to all design pillars, then you know that it's a keep, like it's a must. But you have something else, maybe it only links to one design pillar, then realistically it's not. You could cut it if you wanted to. In our case, we have 3, so we want to try and aim that 2 out of the 3 things that we're introducing correlate with it. And then basically, so I don't know if you guys happen to remember, I talked about the gratis. So the acronym, it's goals, rules, actions, transitions, items. I didn't include the S in the end. Some people could use, I have seen some GDDs have sequences instead of the setup. Could jet fuel melt the beams? They're watching. They're watching. Shh. Keep it down. Don't tell them. Anyways, could be sequence instead. Setup again is more for board games where you have this, because even board games, believe it or not, have a giant GDD. Some of you actually probably experienced it. The game that I made called A Deity's Path board game, unfortunately didn't get finalized. It gets too complicated with board games, but nonetheless, you guys saw the giant packet that I would have, and I probably have it somewhere here, but it's literally like a 8-page packet of just all this, rules and everything. What's GDD? So a GDD is a game design document. So that's technically what this is. So it's a game design document is, imagine it as a Bible for any game, and every game has it. You'd be surprised even how simple it is. Like, for example, I think pretty simple, but it was super popular back in the days, Flappy Bird. You would think that going seeing the pillars isn't really complex, but on the back end of it, there's a lot of moving parts, and there's also like advertising, marketing. You have also, believe it or not, designers, a lot of designers for that. You have, believe it or not, artists with that too. So a GDD, the game design document, that's just the Bible of the game. So anything that is done in a game, explained, introduced, it's all tracked in that. So actually, let me show you guys that example. And this is something I did a while back, but this is like an ungodly example of what a GGD could be. So, you know, like for us, we just have barely 2 pages, and that's because I didn't fill out everything extensively, but barely 2 pages. This is a template that has the works, like anything and everything you could possibly. Well, I'm probably still missing stuff. That's a funny part, but so this alone with just the sections, like, so this is like the table of contents. Table of contents alone is already almost 2 pages, or over 2 pages. Oh, over 3 pages. And that doesn't include actually all the details that would go into each section. So like, you know, the flow of the game, the look and the feel, the scope, you know, how many levels. It's extensive, like it's a lot. So imagine all these sections, you know, having whatever, blah, 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 filled out on there, because you have to fill it out. The whole point of having a GDD too is whenever you bring on either new people, or people get moved into different departments, or contractors. So a lot of like AAA companies, like I haven't done AAA, but I've done it for a couple indies, is they get contracted into the company, and obviously they don't know what's going on. They give them like a brief overview of the project they're working on, but they don't know the extent of it. You know, they don't know who's the designer, what mechanics are there, you know, what type of marketing department do they have, how much their budget is, stuff like that. So what they do is they typically have them read the GDD. So you read a GDD to fully understand it. You obviously ask questions along the way, but it's good template to have any new people on board just get caught up to speed without somebody explaining all the stuff to them. I've read a lot of GDDs. It seems like from school to my indie projects, because a lot of the indie projects, you know, it's just I could go on and just handle the documentation for them. Like that's one of the things I provide. So I end up building it myself, but reading it, adding in new stuff so that it's updated, and then making sure that like the new stuff added in X, or let's say in Z, isn't going to be affecting M, whatever that M is, whether it's a certain mechanic that they cause bugs. Like you guys have probably seen any game, some people exploit certain parts of the game to get something, or to get a lot of loot, whatever. It's the same concept. Alright, so like kind of was saying with the Gratis, so we basically got set up. Damn, I'm tired of shit here. Hold on. Aye, that's good. Okay. So first one I set up was goals, and this is like full scope overarching goals. It's not necessarily like talking about specific ones, like in a level, right? So the level is like escape through the door. That is a goal, but still, you know, it's not like the actual game goal. Like, what are you trying to do in the game? That's where you have like your main quest line. For us would very likely be find out why they're after us, right? But then you have other goals as well that are within it that are kind of standard throughout all the levels. Hey, Justin, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So standard would avoid detection and fight only if absolutely necessary. So that's kind of what we're going for. It's not really going to be much like combat. It's going to be more like just witty banter, like jokey stuff, like kind of how Deadpool breaks the fourth wall a lot, like stuff like that. We want to try and keep that as the main thing. And then there will be like some slight fighting, but not necessarily like combat, because the point of the character is just like a schmuck, a regular dude that for some reason did something really wrong to these guys. It's too hot. Jesus. Now we're gonna also, another goal is find out why crap is after you. Discover what crap is building, or I guess we could put is up to, no, is doing behind the scenes. And then the last part, It's kind of standard maneuver, escape through levels. That's kind of whatever. It's going to be a staple. That's how you're going to basically be traversing the area. Maybe we could look on getting like traps set up. So maybe that could be like the main way to do combat. So you're stealthing around, getting traps, crafting traps, and then you put it on the floor for them to walk into. And again, we're going to keep these guys pretty, like, it's going to be pretty stupid, like kind of jokey. So like the NPCs are going to be clueless. You're just going to be walking around. They might even, right before they get hit, they go, oh man, what a beautiful, and you know, they die. It's pretty funny. Yo, yo, yo. So rules, honestly, I didn't go too much into this because this basically is like the breakdown of what happens in the game. So like an example, you are walking through an area. So like the rules would be player could only walk on whatever, on platforms. The only time they are above the platform is if they're going up a ladder. So that's like basically the setup of the rules. So you're basically gonna be listing out all the things that the player can and cannot do. And it gets really complicated as you get, like, if we were to introduce all the mechanics like here right now, we basically just have to like imagine in your head you're playing it. All right, what is he doing here? So he's walking. So the player could walk up to here. Oh, but now I hit a wall. Player can't go through walls. Oh, okay, I can't jump over this thing. Player can only jump over yellow items or yellow pillars, whatever. Trick me now, and then you proceed to kill me over again. That sounds like him. Yeah, seems legit. I can't add the sound effects yet. I think it's once I hit, I think certain consecutive streaming days, and then when, or 50 followers. I forgot what it was. I did a couple of like the follow for follows yesterday. There wasn't really too many people on at the time I was doing it, so I'll probably do that after the stream. Try and get more people on here, or more people to follow, I mean. So yeah, this super extensive. I usually like to lead this till once I have like a play test, in a sense. Like I actually go ahead and like walk around and like test out the level build out, and then also like do combat or whatever. Oh, in the game, that's actually not a bad idea. It is going to be really stupid stuff, so I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. Actually, let's I will do this. Custom set. There, I'm gonna remember that. Now for the actions part of it, we want to make sure we basically want to list out. It's the same thing. You can imagine in your head. All right, I'm playing a level. What's going on? What's going on? I'm walking. Okay, I'm about to get chased. I'm gonna start running. I'm gonna start sprinting. I'm gonna crouch. Whatever. So the actions normally you just don't list it out like this. Though a lot of them are self-explanatory. There are certain things that you do need to specify. So typically most people just explain the whole thing. So like walk. I'm just gonna fill this out because we're here. So base player speed, and then normally you'll have like metrics on it. It's usually 300 there. Because in Unreal you have parameters to fix to adjust this, but by default with the project that we'll use, which is the third-person one, it's 300, and then for running or like full speed is 600. Which run is sped like increases player speed by 600. And another thing too, by 300. Total of. Another thing with the walking running, so the reason why I like to mention it is because you guys might have played it's more like for MOBAs, not MOBAs, MMORPGs, some of the bigger ones where you will have like a default speed, right? You're running, and then you might usually hit control and you walk slower. That's your actual walk speed. Forgot why really people even include it nowadays. I guess it's more for like stealth purposes. You hold control and that's your walk speed. Then your base speed is like a run, and then you actually hit, let's say, shift to sprint. And then that's their actual like max speed unless you have buffs or whatever. But base player speed, game, death noise and war scene. I don't know if I could do the war scene one, just because there's not really gonna be much of that like crazy combat. But the death scene, 100%. And I'll most likely just do all the voiceovers for the characters because it's cheap and I could do it myself. Alright, so sprint is going to be probably player cap speed. So if maxing 600, it's relatively pretty fast. Let's just say increases run speed by 200, max cap at 800. Player, let's do walk speed. Okay. Crouch. Again, this is all just basically explaining what we're doing, right? Like what's the action that's actually happening. So crouch, player drops. I don't know what the degrees are, but let's say drops to their knees. Kind of play their knees and can only walk when in. Okay. Hide. Self-explanatory. Player can hide behind walls or within. Should we say lockers maybe? To avoid detection. Okay. Alright, so now I put this section in here, like ability-wise, because obviously we want to have something the player could do. We don't want them just like walking around like, oh, I got caught, and then boom, that's it. There's no like engagement there. So I know for sure one ability that we want to do is going to be kind of like a voice throwing in a sense. So you would throw, if I'm here, right, and there's an enemy walking this way, I want to be able to throw my voice to the other side, so they go, huh? And then they go that way, and then I could go around, whatever. So throwing voice, ranged ability. Let's see, we could probably do, this one could be pretty quick, so maybe like a 10-second cooldown. Spelling hard. Alright, another sip of coffee. I fucking spilled some on myself. What the shit? God damn it. Now, this is going to be one of the ones that we want to have just like a stupid custom sound. Like if we want, we throw it over there and just go, ah, like something weird, like just something so they could be intrigued by it. We could also add randomness to that, so it's not always like the same thing. You don't, a lot of like bigger games don't do it nowadays, but you'll have games that they just basically use the same sound and change a pitch. So it's not like, like yeah, that's fine. I think it'll be funny just to have at least 3 different things that can happen when you use the ability, and then at that point change the pitch of it, so then it adds a variety to it. Now for the second ability, because it's gonna be a part where we're doing like progression, right? So you're you're playing through a level, it gets increasingly harder and harder as you continue. As things get harder, you got to make sure that the player has something that lets them survive easier. A lot of games give them a new weapon or a new ability, or it's some sort of like defensive thing. In our case, we're going to have a way for him to avoid detection, which basically in a sense is going to be like a forget-me-not. So that's what I wanted to call it, just forget-me-not. This one will probably be a little longer. Let's say like a 30-second cooldown. Well, it's not really like melee's the right word, but melee ability. Okay. So basically what's going to happen is they're walking. Let's say they get caught. They're going to have a brief window to use this ability to just basically make the person forget that they even saw them, in a sense. So they see him like, ah, you. He's going to go, ah, mofongo. And he's going to be like, huh? And that's it. He's going to completely forget what the hell's going on. Collect is because we're going to be collecting both like keys to open doors. We're going to have collect as well to have like just collectibles, in a sense. Like we're talking about journal entries, audio logs, video logs, stuff like that. Acquire item to put into. Now, putting inventory in quotation marks. I don't think we're gonna do an inventory system. Inventory systems are a pain in the ass. It's really tough to like get them working perfectly, and they constantly need to be like filtered out, changed, worked on, whatever you want to call it. So we might have like an inventory in a sense where you can't like pull up an inventory to show something, but it just saves it on the back end in a sense. Well, I have to see how that works out, honestly. But if not, if anything, we could just have it be more like a back-end checklist. So if it says, all right, go collect key A to open key door A, then we'll just have it like check it on the top, like, all right, key A is acquired. That's it. It won't actually go into inventory, but the system on the back can remember that. Climb used for ladders. That's pretty much it. We're not doing a climbing system or whatever because that's also annoying. Interact is more like grabbing something and looking at it because that may be useful, and that gives us opportunity to add really stupid stuff too. Grab item and inspect it. Add to inventory if applicable. Unlock, open doors, chests, etc. Etc. There you go. The reason why I put unlock too is because unlock doesn't necessarily mean like you're going through it in a sense. I just like to add the specific for it because you don't really like you open a chest but you don't, I don't know, you don't go in it. I guess it doesn't really make any sense. That was stupid. Alright, let's just do that. Open, and I guess here we could just specify unlock. And this is just like if you're escaping, basically we could just close the door or whatever. Close doors. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Alright. Transitions. So transitions are basically, I just want to show you for animation print graph, because this is what I mean. If I could find a good picture for it. I think this one. Yeah, this should be fine. So transitions refers to more of like the sequencing in the actual game itself, right? Like, so you're gonna always be idle, right? Which is just you're standing still. You're not doing anything. You're playing your idle animation, but you're not doing anything. As soon as you press any key to do something, the transition is going to change from idle to whatever it is. So you typically have a movement one, and the movement one has different parameters that tell it whether you're walking, running, sprinting. Same thing, you're going to have one that while you're moving, you're going to be attacking, interacting as well. It just depends how many actual transitions are. It varies on how much content you have in it. So this is basically what the animation blueprint looks like. So you usually have like a default, like your animation that plays, and then based off of certain parameters you put in it, that then goes into adjusting to like the final output pose for this transition. So like this one, if it was running, you're basically changing or this might be actually like crouching or something. So if you were doing any adjustments while you're running, it's gonna add these parameters to whatever it's adding to, and then the final output would come out to whatever this is gonna be. Let's see if maybe there's a better picture. Oh, like this is one. So see, now they compile. There we go. So it's playing the animation as the final output pulls, and in the graph that it's in, it's basically like the running transition in a sense, or jogging transition if you want to call it that. Any more? And the last thing is just the items. Items, I just added some that came to the top of my head. Really nothing like crazy. Let me just add here audio/video log. So health back, charges is what I named it for abilities, but really it could be whatever you want it to be. But I just put charges because we don't actually. Let me put resource instead, because charges means that you could have multiple ones of that one at a time, which isn't a bad idea necessarily. I might just keep it as both, just charges for abilities. If we decide to put multi uses of an ability, then we could do that. Got distractables, so basically just throwing stuff. Besides your ability, you want them to still have flexibility to throw items, just so that they can't. They're basically gonna be stuck for 10 seconds. That's what we decide on before they could do anything else. So that doesn't add much content, because that means that 10 seconds they're just gonna be hiding behind a wall like this. Doesn't really do anything. Journal entries just more for storytelling or for actual progression within the game, for like the main story progression. Keys for doors, and the audio logs, same concept. Now, the fun stuff that I actually like, because doing documentation is it's entertaining and all, because once you have it fully like panned out, It makes it so much easier for everybody, including yourself, to work. But it's boring. That's just the truth. It's hard to like be super excited. Like, oh my god, I can't wait to write 16 pages. No, it's not fun, but it gets done. It's not immediate gratification. Excuse me. But it is nice once you have it all organized, and then people are like, oh wow, I did a good job, because GDDs are really big in games. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the levels. So there are different ways that we could actually map out the levels. So sometimes I like to just type out here like what each section is going to be as you progress through it, right? Like what each level is going to look like. So I just had it start out as a penthouse. So I know initially we talked about using a mansion, which is still doable, but I figured a penthouse, like since cyberpunk worlds are usually really big and open, or like really big skyscrapers, you know, like very crowdly dense, it would make sense that the parties in like a penthouse, like a top floor or whatever, highest floor on a really big building. And it helps with player progression because we could easily introduce like mechanics and do like the whole practicing of those mechanics throughout, like maybe if they're going down levels or things crash, whatever. So we had penthouse as a start. Now, what I was gonna say, a couple ways that we could actually build these out, right? So we have like what I talked about yesterday, graph paper. Yeah, that's fine. So, oh no, I did it again. So here, if we wanted to, we could just do like a top-down lookout of what the level would look like. We could do a cross-section, which is a side-by-side one. I am going to use this eventually, but I need to first get an idea of how the level structure looks, which is another thing. Just kind of, I mentioned it, we could do graph paper. I prefer graph paper. I'm old school like that. It just seems like it's a little funner to do. And I feel like you have more flexibility. The other one is SketchUp. So SketchUp I've used before. Oh, I gotta, yeah, hold on. So this actually used more so for 3D ArcViz or architectural visualization. So like actually creating, what do you call this? Like buildings. So like blueprints. People use this for that. It's definitely used in other places, but so basically what you would do, just gonna throw, no, I haven't used it a little bit. Yeah, so you do something like this, and then you could do like that, and then I think there's, let me redo that one. There, this one, click it up, boom, and then you have this scale for reference. Almost every scale of a person in a game is 6 feet. It's just a standard height. Obviously when you're doing like the whole modeling your own character, creating your own, or if like you have the department to do that, you can do whatever you want. Like obviously you could technically, like if you guys seen the monstrosity of a game, Golem, whatever, they could have had basically like the 6-foot mannequin and then just basically replace the mesh with the smaller one. So everything is still technically on back in 6 feet, but he looks like he's smaller. But most people don't do that because it messes up. There's like a capsule and a mesh around the base player. So if like the player's actually this big, but the capsule's like this big, or let me do it like this, like that, it doesn't make any sense. So stuff up here in this gap is gonna reflect on it. Okay, but then basically this is what you would do. You would just go, all right, if we're making like that, like saying that penthouse, right? Obviously this would be substantially bigger. So there we go. We're like, it'll probably be like, oh, come on. It'll be like something like this. And then gotta click the other side. Like that. Like it'll be really massive. So you could see like, so the player would actually be like on the top floor here in a sense. I will probably end up using this when we're doing the full building. Like, or like not the full building, like the full sequence. But I know it might be an extra step, but I just like mapping it out in here because then it paints the idea in my head a little better when I'm able to see like a top down. Right, this is main building, so like it'll look something like this is main building. Oh, can't really see that. me just zoom in. This is the main building. They're gonna come out. All right, here's the town square. Then over here is gonna be whatever a gas station and whatever, so on and so forth. But I figured for this case, what we could actually do would probably, let me leave this, would be to do when we talked about storyboards the other day. So again, a storyboard is sorry, is, hold on. Oh, there we go. I was about to say. I don't feel like signing up. Okay, so where's there we go. Okay, so a storyboard is, oh, get out of here. It's gonna be like a kind of like, imagine like a comic book strip, right? So it's gonna be a panel of what the transition of the game is gonna look like. So just because we started right here with the penthouse, right? So we could go here and put penthouse. Cool. Oh, sweet. And basically all we're doing, and let me find an arrow as well. Arrows. There we go. Cool. Back to shapes. Oh, this is just quick ones, right? Let me fix that. No, get straight. There we go. I don't remember. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. Is it G? No, it's not G. Oh, there you go. Okay. The fact that this is crooked is driving me nuts. There we go. Okay. So, when we think about the penthouse, again, could be top floor, highest floor. We probably, I think it would be ideal. So you have penthouse, then a penthouse. You can't leave the penthouse without going into a hallway or at least into an elevator. So let's do hallway / elevator. So now we're just basically working in our head. This doesn't. There, I'm just doing that for the lettering. So now we're just working out in our head. All right. So what steps are you going to go through? I'm just going to say kind of all aloud to get an idea. So they're in the penthouse, wake up confused, whatever. Maybe they go to the bathroom. Who knows? Leaving the place, they're going to be in hallway elevator. All right, cool. Now they go down the elevator. At some point, they'll probably end up either at a floor, whatever floor it's going to be. They can end up at the lobby. So at the lobby, maybe that's where we can actually introduce the first set of combat. So put just lobby, maybe main lobby, just in case there's like a second one for staff or whatever. Let's put this. Okay. So main lobby. So now whatever main lobby. Let's say we're introducing. That's when the first like combat sequence is gonna be, right? Or combat sequence, not really any fighting, but combat sequence. All right, boom, boom, boom. That's done. We could potentially have them, and now's when you kind of do split. If we would decide to have them like make a decision, so it would be usually something like this. I need to lower these a little bit more. So again, this ties into that book I mentioned yesterday, which I forgot who it was again. Is it Aaron? Zach Highwater, there we go. So players making decisions, basically is we want to make sure that whatever we're giving them, it's rewarding, right? We don't want them just, all right, I'm going to go from, well, let me change this first off. No, come on. Courtyard, say courtyard, or if they want, it could go to, what's going on, man? I'm not sure what that is, but because he told me to, appreciate you. God, I love SpongeBob, baby. Courtyard, and this one could be like the garage. Garage / basement, I guess, depending on what it looks like. So now is when we want to give them the decision, right? Come on, you fucking asshole. There we go. And then we'll put another one here. Oh, sure. That's fine. I forgot I could connect. There we go. Are you challenged? There we go. Jesus. Alright. Cool. So, now from here, it gives them a decision. Again, we don't want it to be like, alright, player goes from main lobby to the courtyard. They do whatever in the courtyard, and then, oh, okay, you got to go back to the main lobby. And then the actual answer from the beginning was the garage or the basement. That really doesn't do much, unfortunately. Like that, it's not. It basically it is a waste of time. It's like you saying, all right, I'm going to go to the grocery store, but instead of going to the grocery store, you drive to the gas station across the street and then walk to the grocery store. Why would you do that? That's ridiculous. So that's something to keep in mind. So we want to make sure, and again, the thing is, these could still tie up together. Like if we went to courtyard or garage basement, we still end up at, you know, Pablo's house, whatever. Doesn't matter. But we want to make sure that they're going to the courtyard, or something happens in the courtyard that's different, and they don't have to backtrack. Because I think everyone has played a game where, I mean, a great example is like WoW, right? You know, you go in, you're doing a quest, you finish the quest, like, all right, now you go back to buttfuck Egypt to turn it in. That's annoying. And then there's plenty of other games that do that. And some are like make it a little better than others. So like some people will do it in a way where, all right, so you have to go get this quest, turn it in, whatever. But then you could take like a teleporter back or whatever to where you need to go to. Well, that's something that we're going to keep in mind, because we always want to aim when you're designing something. There's an easier, accessible way to get back up to the beginning. So like Diablo, just because obviously we're playing it, Diablo 4 has a way now, like you, or not now, but before. You go in, do a dungeon, get that all done. When you finish the dungeon, it has a way for you to leave. And you can do it whenever, really. But it has a way for you to leave and go back to town or teleport or whatever. Because if not, you basically have to just backtrack in the dungeon. Just walk for like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. It may not seem like that big of a deal, but it's irritating. And it just takes away from the experience. So you guys want to keep that in mind. So if we're going somewhere, we have to have a way for your player to get back to it, whether it's fast travel or driving. You know, driving at least, though, yeah, you're driving back and it's tedious. Driving back is something that the player is doing, especially if you do driving mechanics well. You know, that obviously helps out. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Hope everything's going well today for you. Alright, so let's go back to thinking. Using the old brain. Penthouse, hallway, elevator. Okay, the main lobby. Main lobby, whatever. Fight. Which actually we could label that here. Combat intro. God damn it. Combat intro. Alright, cool. And then kind of going into what we talked about, the IPMT, so the introduce, practice, master, and then twist. We don't have to like label it like that in here, but that's something to keep in mind, because that goes all into the progression of it. You don't want to teach somebody who's using a pistol how to fight Big Dick Gargantuan 3000. That's just not. They're gonna be like, oh, and they're gonna be panicking. So here we want to have. I think both of them are gonna be pretty much the same. Combat, practice. Actually, we might actually want to do this. So we could keep this as stealth intro, because again, our main focus is going to be stealthiness until you get the ability. So stealth intro is avoiding being detected, and then once that's done, these will both be a combat / stealth intro. And I'm just going to copy this so I can put it in the other one. Come on, nuts. There we go. Cool. So either one of these are going to do the same thing. Just we're going to add different varieties. So we can even have it like, all right, once they finish here and they get to a certain point, we'll just give them the choice. If they go into the courtyard, basically like the garage and basement is out, right? Like you won't be able to revisit it in that sequence. This game is going to be like, it's semi-open world, yes. So we do want to have them be able to explore a lot. But there are certain things that they're making a choice. You know, you can't just be like, oh, let me go back and do it unless you have a save system set up, which we will probably have like a very rudimentary one, but we'll figure it out when the time comes to it, actually. All right, bring that up. Save system. Save systems are also a pain in the ass. Because you gotta save every little item that gets done. Every item that you collect, any quest that's completed, the works. So it's pretty annoying. But we'll be able to figure it out. Alright, so courtyard, garage, basement, whatever they do, their next place will probably be... let's just get... What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop that. Oh my god. There we go, that's better. Oh, why is it like that? Just... There we go. And then center that. Oh, it's beautiful. And then let's say they end up at... Hey, what's up, bud? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Did you go to the office today? It'd be nice once I get some emotes unlocked. Okay. So courtyard to the garage basement. I think at this point, it's just going to be like a cutscene once you get through this. Obviously, it'll be different ones. So like the courtyard one, they're going to probably be running into their car or breaking into a car. The garage basement, if we're going to assume that they find the car, maybe they have one. They just pull out their keys and bleep bleep. Then they could do that. So we could probably have them... Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea just to go to someone's house. Let's go to... I feel like people in Cyberpunk have pretty weird names. Let's go to... random name. Jeskel. Sure. Jeskel's place. And then we can just put tune up. Because obviously Cyberpunk is... You know, a lot of people do like body mods and whatnot. So we'll just make it like a tune-up garage. And then there would be... we don't really introduce much. It's just more like for story progression. So this is something... Oh, it zooms out a lot. Why are you zooming out so much? Oh my god, no. One more. Alright. So now, with this... Can you go away? I don't like that you're there. Whatever. What we're gonna do with this... Oh my god, I'm just trying to take a screenshot. So I get a screenshot. Fuck it. Should be enough. Alright, just so we can have it, because you want to still keep this all in the same GDD. So, level sequence. Actually, I'm gonna put it here. Sick beats. Okay. Alright, there. So that's gonna be our base start. That'll be kind of like the first level or map, I guess we could say. But within all of these, we're doing smaller maps in a sense. So like the penthouse, which is where you wake up at, is going to be basically a room, like your typical penthouse. If you guys have ever been to one or seen one in movies, especially if you've seen like the Netflix show, is it Cyberpunk Edgerunners? I think. I don't know if you guys remember. His name Diego. I think it was Diego. There's that big room with the giant like window that faces outside. They both happen to be naked all the time, I guess. Hey, who followed? Thanks, he also told me to. Appreciate the follow, man. Hope you're doing well. Alright. So, sorry, hold on, this thing's lagging a little bit. Alright, there we go. I forgot what I was saying. Either way, we have the penthouse. So, oh yeah, that's so the level there. We're gonna have a little map for the penthouse. We're gonna have a map for the hallway or elevator part. It's probably, since the penthouse, I think they might even have an elevator in that leads up straight to the room. Knowing Cyberpunk places, it probably will be like that. Main lobby is gonna be, you know, the typical main lobby, which kind of leads into our next point, right? A big part of this. Any design, and this actually applies with both artists, designers, just to see how certain things work. We need references. We need to get an idea of what exactly
we're doing. We don't want to copy it, though it's definitely doable and possible, but realistically, you just want to have it as a frame of reference. So, hold on. Jesus Christ. Oh, that was great. How do you guys all have the same dancing dinosaurs? Are those my emotes? Whatever. Dance away. Dance away, my children. Alright. So again, with references, we need to get an idea of what we're going to be designing, what we're going to be modeling, what we're going to be laying out in the levels. So I just got this one link yesterday, which is just the actual Cyberpunk 2077's like highlights. And realistically, what we actually want to probably do it is, Google is great, and actually nowadays, what's really nice is the AI art. So we could put, if we wanted to, this. Let's put Cyberpunk penthouse. Let's go to images. There we go. So we have different options to look at. We have, oh, this is V stuff. This is all from actual Cyberpunk. See, there's another one here, another one here, and then sometimes I like to put top down. Oh, I spelled it right. And then it kind of gives us an idea. Not this. This actually could help, because then this is how our map's basically going to look like, our layout. It's going to be like a blueprint. So if you ever go to see in a place, bought your house, or even sometimes, like a good example, Zomboid, kind of gives you somewhat of a layout on the map that you're in, or the house that you're in. Once you explore it, obviously, that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be leveling out stuff like this. And then in here, you level out the progressions, whatever. So I'm trying to find, let's see, what's a good example. These are nice and all, but top-down version will be ideal. This actually might be pretty good. Let's see this one. Yeah, because we want to have it a penthouse, but also not too big, because in the end, we do want to give the player to explore a lot, which is true. But we also, like this is just overkill. This is a whole ass mansion on top, which does make sense for it. But I think we want them to be able to explore, like maybe go like any person playing a video game does. They'll explore like their initial area, like just looking around, get familiar with controls, whatever. So we do want to do that, but we also don't want to make it overkill, because it's just a starting area. We do want them to try and progress soon, so they can start actually playing the game, which is what everybody wants. So if anything, oh, oops. I actually kind of like the way this one somewhat looks. It's simple. It's got a big old room. Got the kitchen and everything. So again, I'm not going to copy this to the T, but we are going to use it just as a frame of reference. So now is when we're going to go ahead and we don't need the GDD right now, because we're just focusing on the penthouse. This is a temple. We don't need this anymore. I won't need this. No, I won't need this anymore right now. So we're going to do a graph. New online sketch. Am I logged in? Yes. Okay. Oh my god. Pedro, what the hell is that? Oh, okay. It looked much worse from my angle. Kind of reminded me of Mama. But then you click on it, it's just a goofy face. Jeez, horrifying. Scarred me for life. Okay. So now, Cyberpunk penthouse. I think we're just gonna keep it pretty simple. We'll just start off with one basic cube in there. One thing to keep in mind, actually, before I do that, is you want to make sure when you're making maps like this, we have a legend, because a legend is going to be going a long way. So just put legend. Oh, that's right. Oop. Okay, and then I don't like the fact that it always defaults it to blue. There. All right. So we're gonna keep, and I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna keep this as the base player size. So realistically, the actual player size, if we zoom in, you get like the real finer tuning. The actual player size would probably be more like this. Oh wait, hold on. Come on. Oh. If I could click on, there we go. It's gonna be more like this, because obviously the size of the player is gonna be relatively thin. Still gonna be the 6 feet like base character, so we're not really gonna be taking up that much space. Which for accuracy we should probably aim for this, which I probably will end up doing that anyways. So thanks again because you told me to. I don't know who these people are, but hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now this thing is so huge credit to the creator and like the management of this, but realistically there's like some random bugs like this right now. It's just stuck there, so you know what, I'm just gonna use that as a hat, I guess. Alright, so now we're gonna do this as player size. Cool. And then we can highlight that. Julian Go 100. Is that Julian I know? I think it is. Well, either way, welcome to the stream, bud. Appreciate the follow. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. Alright, so here I'm just doing color coding, really. Usually for the player I like to just make it stand out. So I'll just do that, and red there. And again, man, I hated that it defaults to blue when the background's blue. And this tool is also, by the way, free. I do donate to the creator of it because it is useful, and she's very good at like adding on new features pretty often that help anybody, you know, make using this software. So, all right, I'm just gonna put that there. All right, so that's the player size, and I guess just a quick rundown if anybody decides to use this. So this is virtual-graph-paper.com. Great tool. You can create lines, so it's good if you prefer doing that, like just more static stuff. So you have that, like that could be your own little pathway, and it connects at the end. So once it connects, it highlights off, and it becomes its whole item. I'm not gonna be using that though. You have a curve, so same concept. You create a line, and once you click at that second point, you do the bend on it, and then when you click here, there. Then you just click 7 away, and there it's an item again. Text is text. Rectangle, it's a rectangle. You zoom in to get more smaller finite ones if you want real like small details. Circle is obvious. Circle, you click and do that. Select as your main tool so you can actually, you know, click on stuff. Can't really see it there, but it's highlighted. Arrows, an arrow and freehand is just if you want to draw. It's good for sketching, but I obviously don't do that. And then these are just tools for snapping. Showing guides like the guide here. I should probably have that selected for the stream. There you go. Oh, I can't do it. Alright. So, player size. Alright. Nope, that's not what I want to do. We got that set up. So now what we want to do is copy this with D. And then this is going to be our base whenever we're making anything. So if we're going to be making the penthouse, let's get a rectangle. So penthouses are usually pretty big. Let's do this. Is the average size of a penthouse? Because obviously Cyberpunk isn't really it's like fully attainable now. I think there's like certain cities that have like somewhat of that style, but we still want to aim for somewhat of a realism with creating buildings. Excuse me. So 2,500 square feet, 2,500 square feet and 6, so it's usually pretty big. So we can even. He's basically gonna be the length of one cube. So let's say, I'm just going to start from here because that's where the base starts. We could go, maybe not that big. 6. Go up one more and then 3 more to the right. Something like that should be good. Again, I'm going to change this to black. And then we could if we want, because this is going to be like the floor in a sense. Just give it a little color too. Maybe not gray. Gray is a little too. Yeah, there you go. That should be fun. GTA multiplayer penthouse is a good size, man. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Actually use that as an example. So GTA, what number is 4? GTA multiplayer. Let's do that. Penthouse top down. Images. So let me see if there's a top-down version of this. If not, I kind of could get the idea from just pitching, like, putting in together pictures. No, that's not it. Casino penthouse. Brian Doobie Smart, though. Alright, so... let's think about this. So now we gotta split this up into like rooms basically. So that's funny. Appreciate the follow, man. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. All right, so there's actually a good what's right now, a good author. I've read one of his books in a while. I think it might not even big. Is it this one? Oh, okay, yeah. So the book is called Where's the Bathroom? So the reason why it's called Where's the Bathroom is because what a lot of people are doing is like, you're designing this beautiful landscape or this beautiful building. It's like, wow, it's so great. Boom, boom. You got the rooms, you got the master suites, you got the kitchen, the courtyard, whatever. But then a lot of people seem to forget, like, where's the bathroom, right? Or they forget the bathroom entirely because there's actually a couple games that I think one of the earlier Resident Evils has no bathroom, but it's a giant, like, I don't know, like 25 room mansion. Or like they have one bathroom that's all the way on the other side but no others. The reason why they say it is because it comes into painting the picture and again into realism, because obviously if you have at least one room in anywhere, you're supposed to have a bathroom, whether it's an actual private room with a bathroom or a toilet in the middle of the living room, whatever. It's a toilet in a sense. That's kind of what the gist of it is, like, where is the toilet? So you want to make sure that when we're designing this that we always refer back to the realism aspect of it. So just we're on a topic, let's make a bathroom. So let's say he's gonna wake up in the bedroom. So bedroom could be pretty decently big. So let's say something like that. I might have to make this a little bigger, honestly. Something like that. And I'm actually just gonna move this out. Change the color of it. And then we're gonna put let's say the bed is, the beds are in the middle of them, I feel like. It's gonna be a bigger bed. No, hold on. Yeah, this one. There we go. We'll try and center this, if possible. Two, yep, right there. Yeah, we're gonna have to make this a little bigger. That's good. And again, right now it's just the foundation stage, so it's pretty easy to make edits. Once we start getting into engine, it might be even easier to play around because making all these like bases and cubes is super easy to do. This is the bed. There's a room. Most likely want to have like probably the bathroom connect somewhere over here. Let's make this. That sounds about right. Select it. Okay, there's water. Okay, so we have the bathroom there. Bathroom is done. Closets, definitely important, especially in a penthouse. So like 6 feet wide is pretty big. So let me actually, hold on. Do this. Oh, it is a size very cool. I think that's, is that fine? 6, no, 6 feet doesn't sound like a big closet. Today's 6 foot wide closet, big. Alright, so, good answer. Gotta love Google. This is kind of the same process you want to have with, especially when it comes, again, more towards realism. Evac, Anna Marie, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoy the stream. What's going on, man? How's everything on your end? Angry Lizard said, will Penthouse be a story location or more like a safe house type thing? It is a story location. By the way, I was lurking around and came across your stream. Maybe I can help you out with your Twitch custom. Yeah, actually sounds pretty good, man. Let me do this. Can you send me a whisper on here? And then once I finish the stream, I'll hit you up for sure. Oh, sorry. So you were saying, so story location, it is a story location. So basically the story we have right now, let me pull up again, the GDD stream, where do I have it? Did I already write it somewhere here? Oh, it's up here. So, player wakes up in a penthouse after party with no recollection of how they got there, but they shortly realize they were up to no good. So basically, you wake up confused in a penthouse, just trying to basically get out of there at that point because they're done. They want to go home. But in them getting out of there, they figure out that, you know, the organization crap is trying to go after them in a sense. So this is a main location. We won't really revisit it again, but it is something that we want them to try and build out as best as possible, because everyone's first reaction when you play a game, especially when it's more like a narrative, like a story-driven game or single-player game, let me say that instead, is you're going to spawn into where you spawn at and you're going to explore. You're going to be looking around, checking stuff out, see what you could, you know, any interactables, whatever. Alright, so if that means average size is 7 feet, our guy's 6 feet. So realistically, this is 6. I think a big one would be 12. So we could just do that. Oh, that's not 12. I am not good in the head. Alright, I just get impatient. Let's just do this. There we go. And then let me delete the cubes. This one, this one. Oh, I did it again. Whatever. And then rectangle. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. You got it. I'll whisper you. So let's say something in like this. Like that. That should be fine. Alright. So get rid of this. Get this. And again, we can just keep this here. Alright, so this is going to be the closet. Somewhere over here. Damn, I can't get rid of that. That's annoying. Whatever. Change the coloring. Alright, so let me close this. Let's say, sort of for the most part, we have all the elements of the room, right? We have its bed. You know, I like all the miscellaneous stuff, like the dressers, nightstands, whatever. We don't have to worry about that. It's just the main rooms that get explored. So there's a bathroom in every master bedroom, and there's a closet. I don't think we really have to worry about anything else. So if anything, let's just say that this... So if anything, what we need to do, we need to get rid of this, and we need to create a new one, then encapsulates all of this. So something like that. Closet could be a separate thing from the room. Oh no, wait. Get rid of this. There. Change that to black. The penthouse is going to be like the starting point. So we're creating this, excuse me, as like where they're waking up in a sense. So it is part of the story. Everything that we're creating here, going back to the little storyboard that we did, this is all story elements. Yeah. So we're gonna have the penthouse. We'll have, this is gonna be super simple. I don't even think we need to create. So this actual one here is probably gonna be useless, because we might just put like the elevator as the exit door in here, and then you just leave, and that will take us to the next part, which is the main lobby. But we still have to leave that in there because we're designing or implementing an elevator in a sense. So, and the funny thing is, you could easily fake an elevator. We could literally just have it that it's instead of it actually moving down, because you moving down and actually ending up like at an actual lobby, it's gonna kill your. It's not gonna kill your memory, but it's gonna clog a memory for no reason. We can literally just put a cube in, shake, 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 and then you basically just swap out. You turn off. There's called data layers. You turn off the layer where the penthouse was, and then you enable the one where the lobby is. So you literally, instead of it looking like this, right? So you go, all right, bloom, broom, blah, 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 get in here, going all the way down, 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 and that's the lobby. It's basically, all right, they go in the elevator, just shakes, boom, opens, and then now this is the lobby instead of the penthouse. You basically just completely disable the penthouse and then turn on the lobby. All right, so we got that. Luckily, a kitchen is pretty easy to do. So, again, with that being said, I'm just going to drag it over here just to get an idea. Typically, let's do another rectangle. It's going to be an island. Right, let's say a pretty decently sized island. Let's say that. I do want to make a room for the... just one microwave. Honestly, it kind of sounds funny. I wouldn't even mind just doing that. So, should we have the microwave on the island, or just a microwave on the floor? That sounds like on a plastic chair. Even funnier. Or it could just be one really big microwave. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Alright. So let's see. So let's say this is it. This is... Yeah, I don't want to put it in the corner. I'm just gonna put it so... Just rotate this. Island. Alright, fair enough. So, island. Right here. Get a rectangle again. I have to zoom in for this one. Microwave. Beautiful. Love it. And then we're gonna make it so that when you interact with it, I'm just color coding this so I can remember too. When you interact with it, it just doesn't work. Go to the floor on oh, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, because that's another thing too. We gotta add and actually that makes sense because this is it's an after party, right? So it's gonna be pretty messy. We could either have it where it's like, yeah, the microwave tossed on the floor, which actually makes sense because it's literally going to be the only in the kitchen. I'd like one cabinet here, like just like the little string of them. Let me do the line instead. So like this maybe, like that. Oh, that's not even. Wait, is it even? Oh, it is. All right, whatever. There. That'll be our cabinets. Change it to black. All right. So that's done. Actually, I gotta move that. And that. So move it away because I want to keep this clean for now. All right, come on. There. Just move this away here. It's just going to be designing here. So we have that. And now in the living room, we're probably going to have big old couch. So we'll do something like this. Like that. Big old living space. Let's just change that to black. Okay. I feel like in a cyberpunk penthouse, there really isn't going to be much furniture, like out here, because I feel like everybody's going to be throwing parties or some shit, with all the drugs and the nonsense. Oh, I got to duplicate it again. Duplicate. I feel like maybe just like 2 couches. Let me just do that instead. Come on. There. Something like this, maybe. up here. It is going to be like a single story penthouse. And then I'm actually going to do, obviously a penthouse has a wraparound like balcony. So make this one pretty decently big. Like that. And then we'll do like this. There. Okay. Let's, actually, you know what? So it's 2 here, 3 here. Let's just do a line instead, so it's all one piece. 3, then 1, 2. Okay. Sweet. There we go. There's a black there. Oh, you know what? I feel like maybe it should be a little wider because we're gonna want to have like a little pool area, which could honestly be here because this could be just like a little patio section, like a lounge. So actually, you know what? Let's redo this. We could even make it line. That's what I need. Like not fully, so be like 5 across, and then 3 here. Down to the right. There we go. And then we'll make a little. And obviously these shapes don't have to stick, right? Like we won't have to have a square pool. But we definitely could keep it that way. Alright, so let's first make this black. Does this program also work for mobile gaming? Well, this is just, it's honestly just like a digital graph paper. If that's what you're talking about. Are you talking about like the actual game? Is it going to be for like mobile compatible? Is that what you mean? I'm just going to change this to blue. What? Did not work. Oh, you know what? Because I didn't select it. Both. So this, yes. I actually, you know what? I think you could, but you know, I'll try it right now. Let me see. I haven't tried that before, but to be honest, it's not really good. Even if it does work, I'm testing it now. I don't think it will be best because at least with the computer, you have your mouse, right? And you could click and make the shapes easier. Here, you're just gonna have your finger. So let me see, virtual graphpaper.com. Hey, good. Yeah. I feel like in this case, it will be good for like the freehand because I'm testing it now, like to make a line. Like you basically drag and let go. I actually had this. Yeah, it seems to work. It would take kind of long though, but you definitely can. No, sir, you struggle with your thumb. Very different. Thing's a monster. Alright, so that's what I meant to do. Okay. Cool, and then here, again, just for layering it out, we could just have it like smaller little, oh, god damn it. No, I don't want that. No, clear, transparent. Alright. Rectangle. Let's just do like no, it's too big. Come on, let's, there we go. There. Get rid of this. I don't know what the hell I was trying to draw here, but that's an outdoor couch. Oh. I'm trying to just create like a little lounge area here. And there's also this thing too. I forgot exactly who posted, but it's called the rule of 3. So typically when you are like duplicating stuff, you don't want to have 4 because 4 is too much and you'd be crowded. Oh my god, I don't know what type of couch I'm doing here. This one looks so much better. I think it's because I did the opposite. I'm gonna fix it. So it was what, like 2 wide. That just doesn't look right. Man, screw it. Leaving it as this. Star Fox. Oh yeah. Oh, what was the name of Star Fox's chat? Hold on. The R-Wing. That's what it was. What a great game. Classic. Oh, that's not what I want to do. No. Oh, that's going to stay there. Whatever. So, these are our couches. Or our fighter jets. Or what is it called again? I already forgot. Air wings. There we go. Alright, there. That's going to go away on its own. Lounge area. Let's see. Let's look up the penthouses again. Let's see. It's like here. Yeah, pool, little lounge area. Cool. We got stuff in... Where is it? Alright, I have too much shit open. Let's go to that. Get rid of that. And we don't need that anymore. Alright, so... Start doing other elements. Let's think... So, bathroom... I think, honestly, just a tub. Like, literally a tub right here. Like a real big tub. And this is the entryway. I do sometimes like to just put in the door already. So I'll just make like a... Like, I want to show off the entrance and exit of something. So like, we'll put here. I usually make it... no, I color it white. And then actually fill it in with black. There. So we got this as an entryway. And then we can do the same thing. So this is like the exit. Put it right here. Yeah. Oh, oops. Move this one. And then here, we'll have two closet doors. Oh, oops. Let me do that. And then here, sounds good, man. Appreciate it. No worries. Thanks for tuning in. Here, we're just going to do a bigger one. Like something like this. Oh, there we go. Something like this across. It's just going to be really open. Like that, maybe. And then we'll do a smaller one here. Somewhere like here, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Cool. And then we'll do this one, and we can select this one too, get both at the same time. The other one disappeared into existence. Alright. Great. Great. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, there you are, numbnuts. Alright. Cool. Now, elevator. So, actually, wouldn't be a bad idea. So now I'm thinking, let's rotate this, right? So maybe it's something like here. So there's like easy access to go outside. We could have another, or let's put the kitchen back in. Kitchen goes back in. Okay. Let's probably move this a little bit. Like this. I was thinking elevator we could just have like just right here. Either right here or right here. And I think actually would be kind of cool. So we have that. We have that. Probably put something here. I don't know what yet. I'm just gonna put that here. I feel like Cyberpunk always has like hidden stuff. Like it maybe like be like a hidden armory or something. It's like it's kind of more like just for jokes. Like the player, if they explore it, or maybe like we put it around like a code for a gate or something. They'll go to get the code, they'll open it, and they'll see a bunch of guns, but like, holy shit, and that's it. That's literally, they don't get any guns or nothing. It's just like, oh wow, that's a lot of guns, and just completely brush it off. So we'll just put that there, just as a reminder if we want to add something later. Let me move him. Oh, I do have to label this though. So this is the elevator. So elevators usually fit pretty decent amount of people, so we just make it 2. All right. This is the tub. A rub-a-dub tub. Alright. Oh. So another thing too, like we already labeled this as the microwave, just really for shits and giggles, just so it could be interacted with. If there is anything right now that we do want to interact with, we should probably label that. Don't really have much yet from this, but it's just something to keep in mind. That's pretty much all I was just gonna get at. Something like that, and then we'll have like a random little like, oh, not that, random coffee table here probably. Yeah. And a little coffee table, cool. All right. Not too sure how I feel about this couch here. Honestly, maybe having it like this instead. Oh wait, there we go. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Does that look better? So instead of, it's either one like an L or one like this. Like just straight diagonal. I'm gonna get rid of this one because it's distracting me. I kind of like this better. If not like this, then just rotate it entirely. I think we'll just leave it like that for now. We could always tweak it once we have it in engine. Okay, so let us. All right, let's color code everything else now. Use this like little peachish color. It's fine. I'll go over there. I'm gonna change the outline of this back to black, and then change this, and this. A peach background. It's not. Okay. I think, you know what? I don't really like the fill on any of these. I do not like this peach color. I'm changing mine. I'm changing it back to gray. Let's do that. Gray. Nice. I feel like this looks a little better. Looks a little bland, but it's manageable at least. Dude, what is happening? Alright, I guess send this to the back though. There we go. Maybe having these rooms as the peach color looks pretty good. This is all stuff they could actually explore. How does this look? It's peach. Oh, that's not peach. Yeah, it's alright. There you go. Okay. This again is going to be all stuff we're going to add on later. Now, now we got to think about progression in a sense. So this is kind of where we go into the LDD. So hold on. Let me pull it up. Okay, LDD. So this is one that we actually started the other day. Just not really started. It's just we put random stuff on there to fill it in. But now we could actually fill it out with what's the content of this. So I'm going to close this out for now. And then just going to browse around here real quick. Yeah, we should be fine. And then I'm going to split this. So this and like this. Cool. All right. Zoom out a little bit here. Okay. So first, let's just take all this stuff. Replace it with other things. So we don't need any of this either. Cool. Then we're gonna take this out because we don't really have the mechanic yet. Most likely it's gonna be just exploration in a sense. All right. So first off, level name. We're just gonna call this Penthouse. Theme, bright. Messy, open. Why is it spacing so much? Bright, messy, open. What else? What other themes are here? The reason why I put messy is because it's after a party, so I figured that makes sense. We could do what, high class, maybe fancy. High class, or high class, luxurious. There you go. That's a good word. Luxurious. We took mysterious as well because we do want to introduce like notes and stuff. So when they're exploring and looking around, they go ahead and like it adds a mystery. Because right now you're waking up, you don't know what the hell's going on. So we want to make sure we try and introduce them to like certain things that necessarily like guide them in the right direction, but confuse them at the same time because they're still trying to figure out what's going on. Player goal. So player goal really is just leave the penthouse. Leave the penthouse. I'm just gonna capitalize it just because it's the name of the level. So leave the penthouse. Because that's so true that they wake up confused, like where the fuck am I? And then whatever, just leave the place, basically. Oh, confusion. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good one. Confusion. And again, it's not, these themes don't necessarily mean like, alright, they're waking up and like confusion means everything's like warped, like if you're high or something. It's not like that at all. It's just like, what do they want to feel? Because they want, the player's going to be confused, so we want, well, the actual player, like whoever we're playing as, is going to be confused. So we want the player playing to feel confused as well. All right, leave the penthouse. Cool. Featured asset. So intro levels usually have like one main focus, which like just thinking of some ideas to add confusion to this, we could have, let's say like maybe their cell phone, right? So they have their cell phone, they open it and they see a bunch of pictures of random people, don't know where it is, like, all right, that's weird. So we'll just put some ideas on here. Cell phone and pictures with strangers. We could also have, if we wanted to, I know that Brian mentioned it before, we could have the microwave, just a little silly thing to have on there, be the main focus. Ridiculous interaction. Again, I won't really add any context to the story, but it will make the situation a little confusing if you go and interact with a microwave and for whatever reason, I don't know, it turned into a little Transformers and runs out the room. Stupid, but I'd laugh at that. And the concept of the game is supposed to be like, you know, like witty, stupid, silly stuff. The other thing we could put is, because the main thing of this is like exploratory, you know, looking for items and stuff. So it could be if they were to go and like maybe find like a contract, right? Like that government contract. If they don't know anything about it, it just looks like jibber jabber, and it can literally just say on there like blah 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 blah. But on the top it will say like top secret, right? Something like that. What if I start only part of your phone and you have to look around the room to find a battery, screen, maybe the charger? And I'm going to do so. Oh, nice. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, so we could still, I think the cell phone is probably like the best one that we have right now. I'm just going to put this on here before I forget. Top secret. Document. Context just says law, but big red. Notice on top. There. Cell phone. Strangers. That's a very good idea. Appreciate that. Player finds. Well, player needs to find. Can I spell? I think so. Player needs to find. Charger. What else? You put charger. The battery. Then can you imagine? Screen. To fix. Can you imagine lose your phone or something, it completely falls apart, still gets put back together, but like, oh man, I left my screen at my friend's house and then now I left the battery in the middle of the park. That'd be horrible. Jesus. Alright, so I'm actually just gonna put this down here because it's different like sections just so we can see them a little clearer. And we can just put little bullets on this. Oh, I hate it when it gets shrunken. It's hard to do that. There we go. All right. So we have the mechanics. Let me see. So one thing I still want to kind of keep in mind is like exactly what Pedro was saying, right? So now, let's say, I think right now we still have the microwave one. So honestly, we don't even have to leave that in here. I think honestly, we can even put this as well. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it on there because I do want to remember that. But big red. My OCD is kicking in. There we go. So how do we want to break this down? First off, didn't even know where you live. What? Let's get rectangle. And then just gonna make a little small cube. There, okay. Small cube. Put that here. And then we're just gonna call this, if you guys remember the other day when I said a breadcrumb. So a breadcrumb is just something that they're piecing together to try and figure out what's happening, right? Black, maybe yellow outline, or something like that. What are you doing? So yellow outline, black cube. Does that stick out enough? Yeah. Okay. Come on, I'm nuts. Is it selected? Yeah, it's not selected. Are you? There we go. Jesus. Oh, I gotta be careful because now it's gonna do this. Alright, so we got the breadcrumb. Just want to get that a little more lined. So breadcrumb, we're basically going to be just putting everywhere that we would find something, right? So, oh, come on. Right. So let's say if this is the bed, right? We could put, let me get the rectangle again. Just going to put some nightstands on here. Just add a little more depth to it, and then I'm just gonna put it like one really long body pillow. Okay. Change that to black and fill it with the beach. Nope, that is orange. Come on. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. Stupid. Alright, so one breadcrumb. Boom. The phone. I can zoom in. Whatever, yeah, that's fine. So that's where they find the actual phone. Okay, cool. Now they go to get up. They're going to be exploring. We're going to have just a bunch of interactables pretty much everywhere for them to do stuff. But then we can go here. And then let's duplicate this. Let's put a document over here. That could probably be where the document is. And next, probably on the patio outside. So I'm just going to add... Well, it's going to be here, but... Let me add in just a random little table. Whatever, something like that. Select it. And do black. And peach. This way it sticks out a little more. Actually, no, I gotta keep it the same thing. Here, so we'll do gray. We'll grab this. Boom. Another component. And then, if possible, I think it'd be pretty funny to have something in the pool. But if not, we could just put it somewhere over here. Because we do want them to explore everywhere. So, we have the phone. So let's say there's the phone. Blah, 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 blah. We'll probably put something else in the bathroom too. I don't know what, but we'll put something in here. Boom. So we have, gotta make sure we have at least, so we have the cell phone, the charger, the battery, and the screen. So 4 things, and then the document, so 5 at least spread out, which looks like we already have. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the microwave is obviously something that's just gonna be stupid that we have on there. Alright, cool. And actually, on that note, real quick, guys, I gotta go to the bathroom, gotta take a little piece. I will be right back.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alrighty. I is back. I took a piece, and I completely forgot to take out dinner for tonight, so I had to frantically pick something out of the freezer. Okay, so we have the layouts of the breadcrumbs. Obviously, I'm going to label this as well, because this is going to be something that's interactable. So I want to make sure that gets done. Again, this is going to be just kind of on the back burner. I don't think it's going to be anything serious right now, but if we do add something, we could definitely have the option for it. Just notification. Go away. Okay. So now is the part where we could explain kind of like the path that we want to have for the level. So basically how we just do, we're just listing that. So I'm just going to use this right now, just kind of explain it. It's a little easier to visual. So a player's going to start here, right? They're right here in the bed. They wake up confused. They're going to reach for their phone. Let me zoom in. Reach for their phone. Okay, cool. Reach for the phone. Now they're going to explore. Now, for the most part, almost every player is going to explore the area. Some people, which is another thing to keep in mind, that a lot of the principles of level design is, and even design overall, is you can't anticipate what every player is going to do. So if I set it to be, all right, you're going to go A, B, C, D, E, like that's no brainer. That makes sense to me. Makes sense to, you know, maybe people in your other team or in your team. But you're gonna have people that are gonna go from A to D to E to F, and they're like, "Oh, I'm missing something," and then they backtrack and go to B to C. So that's something to keep in mind. But realistically, the ideal path is gonna be here. Then they're gonna go here. They explore here. That's great. That's fine. Doesn't matter which one, but as long as they explore, they're gonna come out here. Look around, whatever. Want to come here? Ideally, we want them to come to the elevator, but they won't. Like, we'll give them a message, oh, it's locked or whatever. If you could do that as well. Come here as well, potentially. All right, cool. There's gonna be something here. And keep on exploring. Probably come out here. We do want to have a nice little view or vista view of everything. So we want them to see that. Now, that's gonna be a little more complex because we're basically fleshing out a whole city, in a sense, for this scene. So it's not going to be super beautiful in the beginning, but we'll work on that. And eventually you'll want them either to come to the pool if that's doable, if they could, if that's possible, if we could put the breadcrumb in the pool. If not, coming to here, basically. So it looks something like this, somewhat of the progression. But let me just take that back. I'm actually also going to add a rectangle here, and this is just going to be like a, that. I just want to keep this like almost like a dance floor in a sense. I don't know why, like somewhere just a party. You know, I like to party. Alright, select that. We'll change this to gray. Nope, to black, and then the second one gray. Ay, shit. Okay. Cool. And then here's probably not gonna really be anything. Again, as we design stuff and when we flesh this out, we're very likely going to revisit it because we're going to be adding in stuff, you know, just fillers, random things, so that we could make sure that the content is filled. Because you don't want to have, like, yeah, a lot of people will have like an empty building, like a apartment at first, but realistically, not anybody just has like a coffee table and a couch to start with, right? Or to, as they live there for years and years or whatever. Excuse me. So now what we do is we're gonna actually be getting everything set up of how the level works. So it's level experience. Do something like that. Alright, I'm just going to make it a bullet point. We're not going to use this right now for a little bit. Put it here, dock it. Also not going to need this sticky note for a little bit. Alright. So now, actually, you know what? Yeah, oh, hold on. Yeah, so everybody could see what we're actually going to be typing, right? Oh my god, that's right. I need to. Oh, there we go. Oh, sweet. I didn't know you could do that. Cool. So now basically just be typing out everything that's going to be going on. So, player wakes up in bed, confused, brief dialogue. It's basically just they say something like, oh shit, my head's killing me, or something like that. Cutscene, which basically is going to be doing, the player's not interacting with anything yet. This is going to be playing a cutscene. But cutscene of player reaching out to phone on nightstand. It is dead. I guess we could say is broken up, and player needs find them to turn it on. Oh, what did that happen? No, go back. Now, this is, we're adding in specifics as well. Like, we could obviously mention here, oh, they're all going to be in A, B, C, but we do want to have a list of, like, labeling out what everything's going to be visually. So, we can put here, there are 3 total pieces to find. And then we just actually list it. Charger, battery, and screen. Okay. So, we got that set up. Alright, now, player now has control and can explore the area. First component is in the bathroom next to the toilet. Which actually we should probably put that in here too. Just put a toilet in the corner here. That is the toilet. Good, good. Toilet, boom. Oh, not that. Alright. Cool. And let's put that. It's gonna be like probably right here. Basically just to show that he was probably throwing up next to the toilet. Next to the toilet. Okay. The player may explore the closet if desired. Brief dialogue. Oh, the platter. Angus. There we go. Player may explore brief dialogue. Cool. Alright. When leaving the room, it is a mess. Mess looks like a party took place last night. Brief dialogue. So again, I'm adding brief dialogue in places because it's just more as a to help me keep in mind that when I'm designing stuff, where to implement stuff. So like basically when I say brief dialogue, it's most likely to be like there's gonna be, so the cutscene's gonna play. As soon as the player loads in, it's gonna play all this. So basically there's gonna be like a little trigger here. So when you walk into here, they could say something. Well, actually probably not there actually, but so when you leave the room, there's gonna be a trigger right here. It's gonna make them say, "Oh wow, what a fucking mess," like something like that. Alright, so that's done. Brief dialogue in the room. Cool. There is a collectible. Actually, no, it's not collectible. There is a story element on the P table center of the main room. We're going to specify here top secret document brief dialogue. Cool. All right. We got that. Oh, my back. Not till 4. Appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a good day so far. Enjoyed the stream. Any questions, by all means, ask away. Alright, so top secret document. Brief dialogue. Boom, that's done. The only kitchen appliance is a microwave. Is pedestal the word? Pedestaled on top of the island. Okay. Pedestaled on top of the island. Brief dialogue / interaction. Make it dumb. Cool. Alright. Player may run or leave room. No, leave area. Area through elevator, but may. But cannot without code. Code will be located within phone when powered on. Heading outside by what's it called? What's that big? By sliding doors near kitchen. They find another phone part. Oh, we also gotta mention, so first component is in the bathroom next to the toilet. We gotta make sure what the component is, right? Because we gotta lay it out for ourselves and then for the designers as well. Because the level designers and not designers, and the environment artists. Because the environment artists are gonna be basically like fleshing out the levels to make it super nice. We're gonna be doing kind of a part of that too. Level designers and environment artists kind of work hand in hand. But we'll be working on that too. Honey boy, what's up, man? Hope everything's going well. Appreciate the follow. Enjoy the stream. Any questions, by all means, ask away. First component is in the bathroom next to the toilet. It'll be funny to put in there. I already have the phone. I guess probably the battery. Yeah, that's fine. Battery. Okay. Brief dialogue. But cannot without code. I'm just gonna be fixing this. Okay. Within. I don't need that. Within phone when powered on. My sliding doors. Actually, now that I think about it, so I don't think we'll need the charger. We would just need the battery. Maybe the screen. I guess it's fine. We could leave it as is. Maybe it'll be like one of those like super fast, quick charge ones. So hang outside by sliding doors in your kitchen. They find another part. We'll put here the screen. Right. So we have so far the phone, obviously. We have the battery. We have to put the charger, and that'll be the last one. Wrapping around the what's it called, balcony or patio at this point. Whatever. Wrap around the balcony. And by in the pool, they find the last component. And that'll be the charger. And then we play here, cutscene plays. Cutscene plays. Showing player putting together phone, powering it on. Hang on. And let's put this, putting together phone and powering it on. And we'll go here. And we'll say first we'll powered on. Home screen Picture is with random people. Then phone message lights up and shows the elevator code. Okay. Lastly, the player can now leave the penthouse and head to the lobby. Cool. Oh yeah, man. I love lo-fi. This one is like this one's like the little more like upbeat one. Some of the lo-fi ones are a little too like almost like sleepy time in a sense. But this one's like the most chill one. I like it. And it has like this little background too. Doesn't really do much. It's literally just this. I've always liked lo-fi for that. Alright. Let's see. Okay. What is this? Close that. Okay. Alrighty. Now that we got that done. So basically that's the breakdown of the whole level. Again, it looks like it's not really that much. And then think about it from like a perspective of like designing wise, it's very simple. Really the only things you got to do is a collect system, a dialogue system, which really it's just you can literally have it trigger, boom, walk into it. We'll probably have it more like an interact thing. Probably the more complex thing to do here would be the animations in a sense. So like the cutscene in the beginning shouldn't be a problem. Probably so like when you're finally get the phone parts, if we wanted to, it'd be pretty cool if we wanted to actually show them like, you know, putting it in together and then everything lighting up. Probably just more as a placeholder. We just have them once everything's collected, it'll show like the elevator code at the top, and then it'll just show like we'll just have like a debug log. So it's just literally a print screen on the screen that says funny picture, whatever, doesn't matter until we have the actual things we need, which I could design them. Yeah, I could model out anything, and then animations I could also do too. I just need to get a rig of the Unreal Mannequin, basically. Okay, so that's done. So now what I'm first gonna do before stuff crashes, because you know how computers work, I'm going to save this. Save as online sketch. There. So now, if I go to my account, these are all the sketches I've done. So I did save this one already, but I just do want to have a more updated one just in case. We're gonna name this one Penthouse. Now, when we actually get to building out the whole world, Sketch is gonna be much better for this because realistically, we can't do like top-down sketches of it like we could. But Sketch is going to be a little nicer for that, so that's going to be real fun to do. Now let's see how much time we got. Oh, a little over an hour, or a little under an hour. I could do that. So let's go back to the drive. Go to the stream. GDD. So again, we don't have to worry about this. I just design an elevator, which is just going to be a cube in a sense. Now the main lobby. Kind of the same concept. When it came to us doing the penthouse, you know, getting ideas, getting references, I normally like to use, there's this application called PureRef. Let me see where it opens. So here. So basically what you do in PureRef is you drag in images, right? And what it does is going to lay out the images in a way for you so you could see all of them at once. So I'm just going to get like some random examples that I have here. If I could... Is it here? No. Pictures, maybe? No. No. Downloads. So like, let's say, boom, drag this in here, and I can organize it however I want. See, I keep on spacing it out. If I really wanted to, whatever, just something else random, some Pokemon stuff, you just lay it out however you want, and then you can see everything at once. Now, obviously, these aren't things you're really going to be using. No, don't save. I'm actually gonna put up this music a little bit, liking it.
There we go. Ooh. All right, so we're gonna look up now a lobby, right? So we can always just look up a typical lobby and then just structure around that. But we do have a theme. So having a theme, and if we really wanted to, I'm not gonna go into that unless we really can find much. But the AI art would be crazy for it. So let's go Cyberpunk lobby. Images, maybe a hotel lobby, just to be a little more specific. See, like that? That's pretty cool. Oh, look, it's funny. AI artwork does show a lot there. Not that. Motel actually would be a bad idea too, but hotel is a little more grand, especially in a penthouse. You don't have penthouse suites in motels, that's for sure. Only thing you got on there is different forms of hepatitis, that's for sure. This is from the Cyberpunk show, isn't it? Looks like it. I don't know. Let's see. What's this? No. No. This looks pretty cool. Is that a pool? That is a pool. Alright. Am I going to be rendering anything? So rendering is really more probably for the cutscenes. So what I'll probably end up doing is either I could probably actually make the full level layout in Blender because it's free. I'm not going to be paying $300 a month for Maya or 3ds Max. So I'll probably maybe do it in Blender, block out the whole level, and I can actually make the cutscene in there too. But I just need to find a way to get the mannequin bones, like the root bone, so I could go ahead and get it animated in the engine. And how long would it take you to render a model or design? When you say, let me make sure, when you're saying render, like, are you saying like just like block it out, like to actually make out the full thing? Because if so, yes. Like we just have to get this set up first, because the last thing that we'd want to do is just like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna make a castle. And then you go in and make a castle, and definitely can you do it? I could definitely do it right now if I wanted to, but when you're working off the top of your head, it's difficult to really like completely map things out. And this is more of like the full design pipeline. So you get a map, you get an idea, so when you go to block it out, you go ahead and just like, you can do it all at once because you have everything in front of you. Cutscene, yeah, I should be able to do cutscenes. I don't know whether to do it in Unreal, in the engine, which you definitely could, or to do it in Blender. So I guess I'll figure it out when the time comes. I could do either one. I just gotta see which one I guess would be the quickest. And the only thing with, I guess it's more flexibility of doing cutscenes in the 3D software than an engine. An engine is doable, but it's just a little wonky. It's not always like as specific, right? Because in the engine, you don't have access to the bones. I actually want to do a video of this probably next week, but like a rigging animation tutorial, which actually, Bedry, you might want to tune in for that when the time comes, because that's actually I've been telling you to do for a while. I think you'll like it. But basically, in the 3D software, you have access to every single bone. So all the fingers, the joints, everything. So if I wanted to make this, right, like just somebody doing this, I could do that in the 3D software. But I can't do that in engine, because in engine, it's just like the actual bones. So it's this, in a sense. Unless it has the bones in there, which is definitely possible, because Unreal is pretty good with that. But we'll have to see. But cutscenes are super easy to do. It's just they're real finicky, because you know, you basically like to get from like me doing this, right, just standing still, to then doing like that, maybe like my fingers like this. I had to basically just drag, adjust, keyframe, stuff like that. Alright, so now let's look at the hotel lobby. At the hotel lobby. I actually kind of like the way this looks. I really do. I'll probably end up doing something like that. So now we have this one. We could actually do a new one. Actually, we could just cancel that, because we have this penthouse one, which we already have, and we have the copy of it here. So we could actually just
work off of this. Just click on it, boom. And it's that old version. It has our legend in it already. It doesn't have the breadcrumb there. Let me just get that, duplicate it. There we go. And then we can just get rid of this. We're starting fresh. Yeah, you're right, actually. It's a little sus. Let's get oh, I think this one's pretty good. This is Korean underground hip hop. Oh, you actually liked it? Ah, shit. Alright, let's go back. Just don't get frisky on me, that's all that matters. Alright, so lobby. First off, the easiest thing that we could do right now is the exit elevator. I don't remember how big we made it. Was it a 3x3? It was 2x2. Okay. That is one thing we had to keep in mind, is always trying to keep consistent with scaling. It's not really relevant now because we're just making blocks, but when we come to actually making it an engine, yeah, it's gonna be a big part of it. Alright, so this is the elevator, and then I'm gonna do the same thing as before. I'm actually gonna just copy it from here because it's a little easier to do. Just copy it here, paste it there, and drag it. Boop, boop. Oh, there we go. Alright. And we're also gonna have same thing. Oh, actually, we have the breadcrumbs here already, so we'll leave that there. Then we'll keep this there. Yeah, I guess we just keep it the same peach color. Bitch. Dirty bitch. Alright, so hotel lobbies, and I'm actually gonna do, where have it? I want to duplicate this. Actually, I wonder what happens if I put top down. Let's see if it actually shows something. Ooh, it does. Okay. This actually looks pretty cool. So, same kind of concept with when we're doing a penthouse. What is in a hotel lobby? You got a front desk. You have bathrooms too. Can't forget the bathrooms, important. You're probably gonna have some sort of art piece. It could vary whatever it's gonna be, but something like that. There are gonna be couches. There's most likely to be a lounge area, which lounge area could also mean that there's a bar, which this is actually something good to keep in mind, right? So let's go here. So I'm actually gonna do this for the penthouse already, just so we can have it. So bathrooms, master bedroom, living room. Oops, living room. Master bedroom, living room. It's gonna have a balcony, pool. I'm gonna put that as a question mark because not every single one has it. Kitchen, closet. Let's put closet / storage. Concierge, that's true actually. I'm gonna put that for the, let's have it here already. Lobby. Alright, I'm just trying to think, do we have anything else? I'm just gonna put furniture, but that's a no-brainer, but still. No, okay, we'll just leave it like that. So now lobby. Some things that we mentioned. We have front desk. We have concierge. Good job. We'll have lounge / bar. Again, bathrooms. When I say lounge and bar are kind of like the same thing, but they are usually like couches all over the place. Couches. Let's fix that. Concierge. Some sort of art pieces. Art. Statue. / pieces. Statues. Status. Okay. Let's go back. Let's look at the picture. Just get an idea. Oh, it's gonna be very likely. Where put it? Parking garage. Again, a no-brainer, but elevators. Actually, I'm also going to add here elevator. Let's see what else we got. Front desk. We got entryway, so that's important. Entryway. Here's the G. Entryway, stairs. Ah, see, good point. Which actually, it's a good thing to mention for this one because there is no stairs, and that is a fire hazard. But we'll just put stairs here. Actually, that's probably what that other room's gonna be that we have from there. See, stairs are right next to the elevator. Stairs. Let's see. Let's get a little inspiration. Art pieces. Obvious stuff like plants and stuff. We don't have to worry about that. That's all the cosmetic stuff. That once everything's blocked out, we could add that in. And we could also just simply Google what is in a hotel lobby. I guess that's it. Got the comfort. What makes a lobby a lobby? A hotel lobby. Let's see. So, this is. Oh no, that's not what it means. Lights, true. We could put that where. Not too many things open. Right, we could actually close this. Don't need that. Don't need this one. Just this one. Don't need that anymore either. All right. 2 lights. Chandelier. That's true. Usually it has some pretty fancy lights. Call that a chandelier. I hate DJ Khaled. I don't know if anybody's in the same boat. That guy's just one of the dumbest people ever. But he's so rich for doing absolutely nothing. Well, not absolutely nothing, but whatever. You get what I mean. Okay. So listen, what the hell's going on here? Jesus. In sync. Yeah, you guys were. Front desk. I guess we should add at least. It's not fully necessary, but a restaurant. It's usually at least one, or somewhere to get food, which means there's usually a kitchen. I'm just here. Do you know what's funny? I've been to so many hotels. I, for life of me, cannot think of something else like that stuck out to me at least. I'm trying to come back. Oof. I think that's probably good for now. We could always just revisit it. We could always add stuff along the way if we think of things. Oh, convenience station, true. That's that. We add down. That'll be the last one. So like a little. So should we have it as vending machine? Actually, have it as both. Just put a convenience section. That'll be that works. Convenience station. Cool. That'll be good. That is plenty. So, I do still want a somewhat of a layout. I kind of like the way this looks. Again, we're not going to copy it exactly, but still. A peanut room. Just all the glorified nuts in the world. You got the macadamias, hazelnuts, the works. Unless peanut room is actually something else that I'm not aware of, then I apologize. I'm actually gonna look it up. God, I hope this doesn't come up with anything. No, okay, good. Pork? A lechonk? Is that lechonk? That looks like lechonk. Alright, so hotel lobby is gonna be big. Relatively big at least. So let's see. Usually there's multiple elevators, so that's one thing. Let's get this, duplicate it, give it like a little space, okay? And I'm just gonna kind of spitball a size of it here. Something, say something like this. Again, can easily be changed like how we kind of did the other one. And I'll probably put it more on the far side. Let's get this black outline, and we'll fill it in. We'll fill it in gray. Gray. This isn't peach, is it? No, it's not. There we go. Is it the same color using the other one? I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Okay. So let's split. And actually, we are on. So we have this GDD. Let's go to the drive again. I mean, I can't really see it. Oh, looks like duplicate, whatever. So let's make a copy of. Well, let me actually. This is gonna be Penthouse. Just renaming the file. Oh, oops. LDD template. Oh crap! I actually added my original one. Shit. All right, that's fine. Let's just refresh. Let's make a copy. Why can't I make a copy? There you go. Make a copy. Let's open this. And it's gonna be back to our LDD template. That's the same. Sorry, just give me 1 second, guys. Right. What the hell are those? Is that pineapple on a pepperoni pizza? No. Gross. Oh my god. I get sick. Alright. So, okay, let's get rid of this. Sorry, this is actually just a blank template that we're going to use. I just accidentally kind of overwrote my original one. What a true pizza lover. You telling me? No, okay, I don't know, dude. Because Hawaiian pizza, alright. That's fine. Because at least ham is dry. But you're telling me... Ah, see? There you go. That is a true scholar. Not the pineapple. Is pineapple pepperoni? That's gross. Oh my god. If you like pineapple on pepperoni pizza with all that oil, you need to be medicated. That's what you need to be medicated. That's ridiculous. Okay. So we have this. Gonna change it back to what it originally was. LDD template. Okay. Now I'm going to reopen it. Go to my drive. I'm going to make a copy of this one. And now this one, boom, is going to be called the lobby. No Ronies. So you're telling me... Wait, hold on. I like my pizza with pena. First off, good sir, if you know me for a long time, my last name isn't Pena. You degenerate. It's ridiculous, bro. Make me sick. Alright. Theme, lobby. Let's think about some stuff. Also going to be bright because it's a lobby. Actually, you know what? It's kind of like... It's weird because neon is bright, but everything around it, usually neon, is dark. Makes the pie heavy. Oh, hell yeah, yeah. Even a pepperoni pizza, like, you look really good. Like, when I went to New York, I had a lot of good pizza, but one really specific place that had amazing pizza. The pepperoni was delicious. I have no complaints, but it's just too much. Like, I could tear into a whole box of pizza if I really wanted to, but I can't do it with pepperoni. I think it's the only exception because there's so much oil. Oh man, but when little pepperoni cups, like, they cup up because of how crispy they get. Oh, that shit good. That shit bussin'. It's really good. Alright, so theme. I'm just gonna put neon, I think, because it's kind of like dark pizza, whatever. Jesus Christ. Sir, You make me sick. You need to see a professional. Alright, so neon, so the only thing is, like, typically lobbies, they have, why is the music just suddenly get really loud? I don't know. Take it easy. I got louder. Beautiful. Just the way I like it. No noise. Just kidding. There we go. Alright, so normally, hotel lobbies, not necessarily they're busy, but they have people in there. But in our case, when the player gets into the lobby, it's going to be surrounded by enemies. So, we can put dangerous. We could even put a little bit like destroyed. Not necessarily in a sense like beat up, but like, oh, let's put disorganized. There we go. Disorganized would be good. Disorganized. Dangerous. Disorganized. Oh, sorry. Just got a text. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. So neon, dangerous, disorganized. Trying to think of emotions to evoke wherever we're building out something. So we want them to feel cautious. I say, I don't know if secretive is the right word for it, but like hidden in a sense. So you don't want to be secretive. You want to be sneaky. There you go. I don't know where else secret got from. Sneaky. There we go. Just to we'll name a couple of them. So player go is, we're actually gonna put probably 2 of them. Let's get some bullets on here. Escape the lobby undetected, and then probably should introduce the nah, it might be better if we introduce the stealth first. So we use stealth, and then in the next part, which was yeah, already out of here. Yeah. And then the next part is where it's going to be like something's going to happen and they're going to be able to use their powers. Let's get a lot of being detected. We also just put find the collectibles. That's going to be the standard for all of them. I'm just going to put it on here. Okay, featured asset. That is a good question. What would be the featured asset for the lobby? Oh, we could actually have it like maybe like statue representing the CRAB. Statue representing crab. There we go. Okay. And then now, so we won't do that. This is gonna be stealth. And then like detection I say as in if you ever played what's this one called? Dishonored. So Dishonored, Skyrim, like the little eyeball that pops up and opens if you get detected. Obviously in this case, like, if it opens, you technically lose. They're gonna capture you and it just resets back at the elevator. But still, so stealth and detection. I don't know why these aren't. No. Is this a different font? Gross. Anything is Calibri, what is it? Courier new. Courier new. There we go. And then is it bolded? Yeah. Alright, so stealth and detection. That's what's going to be that. Now, let's go back to this here. So, pretty decently sized lobby. This is probably going to be the entrance because we want them to go from here. Kind of like somewhat of a path I'm thinking of now. They come out of this elevator, because the first one, and it's going to be something like, alright, they go here. It's going to be some pillars, probably like around here and here. Then you gotta go like maybe something like that, Go around here, maybe go behind the front desk, something like that. So I'm just gonna cancel that. We definitely start out with simple stuff, right? So first things first, we're gonna do front desk. Usually, well, this is gonna be the entryway. So let me get. Actually, I need a little bit more. So let me get rectangle. Let me zoom in. We'll do this. This could be like the entryway with 3-3. Yep, cool. Now, normally in some games, you don't want to have such like conciseness, so you don't want to have it be like everything is perfectly straight, right? Because it just doesn't look realistic. But this is a lobby. You know, it is going to be disorganized, and to an extent. And the thing is, like, kind of like cyberpunk feels are a little, feels kind of dirty. So we want to make sure we have it somewhat organized, but not really. So we'll have this one though, because this is the entryway, so there's not really much that's gonna be like super crazy here. There we go. Now we can have a little front desk section right here. Like this. I don't know why I put it there. Go. And then, honey, you said a little concierge station. I think it's typically. Where is the concierge? Concierge in a hotel typically. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The lobby itself, or we'll put it next to the. Actually, no, I kind of feel like I like it separate, so maybe somewhere like over here. It's obviously gonna be really just one person there, so maybe somewhere like right here, like that. Something like this. Why does that look weird? I think I made it too big. Let's do like that instead. I'll take this one and then move this down. Okay. Now that's done. So this, I'm just putting this down to kind of show off like the entrance in a sense. Like this is like a I don't know if I want to say a carpet in a sense, but oh no, wrong thing. Rectangle. Let's put it like one apart on each side, something like this. Nope. God damn it, you idiot. There we go, something like that. I did it again. So one apart. Oop. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. This is really just gonna be like on the foreground. And then I'm actually gonna do 2 little lounges. So I think it would be cool to have. Oh, that's too big. Hold on. Do something like this. Be one. And we'll duplicate that. Put it here. So this will be like a ring of couches. Or like we could just have a lounge area. I'm just not gonna put like the individual items on there. It's just gonna be like a circle kind of. It'll be a little messy, or it might not be perfectly circle, but just something showing that there. And I'm also gonna do this. So let's get a rectangle. I'm gonna do this to show off the. It's more difficult myself. There we go. Let's get that. And this will be like the pillars in a sense. Which actually a good thing we could do is the pillars could be aligned with this here. So like we'll have one here, one there. Maybe more like a little off. You know, I think it should be fine here. One there, one there. And then we could just that's fine. We'll space them apart on this one. Let's put it here. No, actually, let's move it to where it needs to be. This one needs to be split in there. Oh, that was the wrong one. This one. There. I think that's right. I don't think that's right. Hold on. There we go. Okay. And then basically we just go right about here. Zoom in again. It's okay if it's not matching exactly here. Oh my god. It is for me, dude. I can't with this shit. I don't know if that's right, whatever. So, and then we can do it, and so we just organize this so that the pillar could be like somewhere like right in the middle of this. Doesn't be exactly in the middle, but don't know how I feel about that. Alright, well, let's check some stuff off so we get a better idea. Front desk, good. Concierge, good. Lounge and bar is going to be a separate thing, which we could probably even have these. So this could be one place. Let's put that there. And then we'll put, what is it? We're going to put the bathrooms, which is probably going to be on this side. Actually, no, bathrooms usually near the elevators, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's going to be here. So let's actually move the legend. Put that over here. Actually, no, behind here, because it's not going to really be doing anything there. Oh, actually, it's a good people pointed, like, on the, when I googled this thing, it did say that there's usually a little backdoor lounge for the employees. So we got to do that too. All right, so let's say a decently sized restaurant. Let's just like overdo it though. Do something like this. This is gonna be significantly smaller. This will be something probably like that. Sounds about right. Okay. So we got lounge bar. That's usually in the front as well. Which actually I might move these somewhere more over here. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then we'll have a rectangle, and we'll put the lounge bar like right here. I don't think it's gonna be too big, but something like that. Okay. Bathrooms are gonna be somewhere here. We could just add that in right now. It'll probably be something like this for the men's and the women's. There. And then let's get this. Rotate it. Cool. Put that there. And let's duplicate it for the other side. Actually, we don't need to have this one red anymore, because they're going to be coming out of this one. This one here. Get some water. Okay. It's done. Okay. Golden. Got a little 20 minutes, so we should probably be able to finish this, actually. Not lay out like the progression, but we'll just at least get the base foundation done. It should be all good to go. Art statue pieces, that could also be, it's a cosmetic thing, so we could probably put that wherever. So I'm not going to worry about that. An exit to a parking garage, that's actually a good point. It could honestly be like a completely separate building. So we really wouldn't have to worry about, I can put this here. Move this here again. What we do have to do is like their entryway. Excuse me. So I'm not crazy about always just keeping cubes, but doesn't really matter that much right now. It's like an entryway. Probably gonna be like a little bridge here, which we could also symbolize that with. Let me just do this. Something like this. Let's do this. Oh, black, and then we'll make this gray. And then usually, if it's like something that's either above or below, like the main thing. I like to just do, it's like we'll do this one, right? And we'll duplicate it. So let's move this one like here in the middle of this. Splits it, I think. Actually, a little less. So I'll put it here. Like that. And then we'll do just like this one. Highlight it, grayed out. And then this one I'm gonna make dashed. Right, so it looks like it's below this. Like this is the actual top part of this. It's like a little arc, basically. Okay, we got that. Parking garage, almost we don't have to worry about because we could just have it a separate building next to this. Anyways, we need do need to add stairs, which stairs could just literally be right here. So I'm actually just gonna duplicate this, put it right next to it. And then we'll just leave the pink because it's not a big deal. Lights, we could do when the actual level's built out. Chandelier, same thing. We'd have one of these is going to be the restaurant. So let's say this one's a restaurant because it looks a little bigger. We have the kitchen, which is probably still going to be here too. We could probably make like a little smaller separate one. Maybe something like this. Hey, what's going on? Lear Hacks. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. Hope you are doing well. Let's make this like the kitchen here. I think that should be fun. There, that'll be a kitchen. Okay. Last thing was a convenience station. So convenience station. Jesus. Okay. Convenience station. We could have it. Trying to think whether to put it like right here next to this. Wouldn't be a bad idea. We could just do that. It's just gonna be a placeholder because we could always move it around when the time comes for it. There's be a little small room. Boom, right there. Nothing crazy. So now I need to fix the coloring on all this shit. There we go. I hate it when it does that. Alright, let's just do the outside ones first because they're easy. Change that to black. And then I'm actually gonna keep this peach color for things that they could actually like walk into, and then we'll keep stuff gray where it's like not really necessary. Like they won't be going into it, or they can't go into it. Let me say that instead. So they won't be able to go into there, they're going to there. Do this one. This is gonna be a little convenience station. Could always make that bigger if anything. Let's do these. These will be black trim. Black with the peach color. Oh, that's right. So gotta send best stuff to the back of the layer because if not, it just covers them. So, no, black. Oh no, this to back. There we go. Okay. Do this next. Boop, boop. Black trim. We could have. Let's get this. Duplicate that. Put it right here. I guess we could have that. So we need one of these probably here. Yeah. Do that. This one will be black with the peach filling.
just be black and gray. That's fine. This is gonna be like, that's just like just a foreground thing, like probably like a carpet or something. I don't really know what I was trying to go for there, but just to keep it. Concierge stand. We won't let. They don't have to go into that. I guess they could. Sure, why not? So let's change it to black. And then to that peach. I guess I might as well just change this to the peach as well. Get this. Duplicate it. Be just like a little, one of those little flip doors. Right there. Cool. I also need one for here. Let's get this one door. I need to change the color of you guys to gray. Maybe I should just take this out. It's not really adding much. Okay, I think that's good. We could also do... This is going to be the exit, so I'm actually just going to do this red. Because once they get to this door, that's it. It's gonna basically play a cutscene or something and move on to the next part. Alright. So now, not necessarily here's the problem, but here's the situation. So, we have a map built out, right? This is pretty good. We could build everything out this with really no problem whatsoever. The only thing is, actually, I'm just gonna color this peach. I feel like it'll look nicer. This is more for my taste. Right now, if the player starts, right, which actually I also need to, let me do this. I probably should have done this in the other one too. This is going to be, make this red, and we'll make it blue. Sure. Actually, you know what I could do? I could do. Let's flip it. So let's make it degrees. And actually make this peach. No, I messed up. Oh, there you go. Okay. So this is actually going to be the player start. And let's add text for it. Player start. And we have another one. That's for the player finish. Finish. There. Get both these. And I'll basically just do. We'll do something like this. Oh, that's not good. Alright, whatever. I'll leave that one that color, but I'm going to change the color of the fill so it's different than what our background's going to be. So we'll do green. There we go. So it'll be black. And then this one will be... Oh no, we keep it red, and then this green. There we go. So now we know what the goal is, right? I got to add this to the other map. So basically, player's going to start here. It's going to paint the visual for us. And their goal is to get over here. Doesn't really matter where, but somewhere to pass this. Actually, put it past it. There we go. Once it gets here, it plays a cutscene, whatever we want to do. Okay. Oh, so what I was going to say. A part with this now is, cool, we have the map, but now let's say we place enemies, right? And we could do that right now. So now what we'll do, we're going to do this. I'm going to change it. Probably change, no, wait. I'm going to change this to green. So it's just the opposite of what the player is. So let's do, this one I wanted to be black. Yeah. And then, so also with, well, let's say we put in enemies, right? Let me just explain that first. So we have enemies here, enemy here, say here, another one here, right? Right now, just looking at this, it looks like the player barely has anywhere to hide at. And that's a big thing, because a big thing of our thing is we're avoiding detection, we've got to do stealth, but as soon as I come out of here to here, I get to get caught. Or even if I'm able to go and run right to here to make it, I have all of this here to get caught still. And then just everywhere else, it's even more open. So now what we got to think about is putting in the blockers so that the player knows, or player has a way to avoid
being discovered in a sense.